Over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files.
A few days ago, on July 16th, President Trump addressed the nation and announced to declassify a series of intelligence documents revealing how the Chinese Communist Party has systematically interfered in American elections, stealing 220 million voter files, funding negative coverage of the president, and using business leaders and corporations to undermine his administration. When I heard that speech, one thought came to my mind immediately. I heard this 6 years ago. The day after Trump's address, I received a message from a former viewer of this channel. She told me that 6 years ago, she had watched an interview I did and that it covered the CCP's interference in the 2020 election better than anything else she had seen across every other channel combined. When Trump's speech came out, I was the first person she thought of. That message is why I am republishing this interview today.
My name is Xintian Oliver, and I'm 24 years old. And my grandfather and my father, my whole family used to work for Chinese Communist Party.
Back in December 2020, I sat down with a man who called himself a Red Third Generation, the grandson of a CCP founding official, the son of a senior Chinese bank executive, and someone who grew up inside the system before coming to the United States to study, including Stanford. He came forward because he had stumbled onto something extraordinary. He knew someone in New York running a fake ID operation, supplying Chinese international students with counterfeit American IDs. It was, he said, an open secret in that community. In July 2020, that contact told him orders had surged, at least 20,000 fake IDs a month. Then came election night. He watched the results shift in ways that did not make sense to him. He went back to his New York contact, started asking questions, and what he found led him to a printing factory in Guangdong, China. He spent $5,000 to get the factory owner talking and recorded the conversation. What he learned was the factory was producing at least 500,000 fake ballots per month. Over 3 months, they printed an estimated 1.5 to 1.6 million ballots in total. These ballots, he said, did not come directly into the United States. They were first shipped to Canada or Mexico, then brought across the border through drug trafficking networks into cities like New York and Massachusetts. He took this evidence to American mainstream media. No one outlet would touch it. Some called it too political. Others called it fake news without making a single phone call to verify. He eventually got the story out through a Taiwanese media outlet, where it spread on social media. I interviewed him shortly after, in December 2020. The video was published on my YouTube channel in both English and Chinese, including this one, and then quietly taken down. 6 years later, much of what he told me appears in intelligence documents that President Trump just declassified. Systematic CCP election interference, ballots routed through the Mexican border, intelligence officials who knew and said nothing, and mainstream media that looked the other way. I cannot verify every claim he made, but I do know that in 2020, it took real courage to say what he said. This is the first half of that interview, focused on how the CCP targeted the 2020 election. The second half covers something equally important, how the CCP monitors and controls Chinese students in America through organizations like CSSA, why he decided to walk away from the system he was born into, and what America means to him personally. I will publish that part in the next episode. Other content creators are welcome to use this interview. We ask only that you credit the Wei and Cathy show. Now, let's go back 6 years and listen.
Welcome to our show, Benes.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, so tell our audience about yourself.
My name is Xintian Oliver, and I'm 24 years old. And my grandfather and my father, my whole family used to work for Chinese Communist Party. And for me, I used to be a Chinese citizen, but since I was young, my almost entire life get a Western education. I lived in California, lived in Boston, New York, Tokyo, and Munich. Yes.
And you used to study in Stanford University, right?
I used to study in Stanford University, yes.
Yeah, and can you tell us which year?
2014,
18 years old.
18 years old.
Okay. You told us about how your grandfather was actually one of the co-founders of the People's Republic of China.
He is on the list for the co-founder of the People's Republic of China. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm
And what
gonna say
was
that,
That's all right. What was his position? Do you remember?
Yes, his position is like a 省厅级.
Oh, 省厅级. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In which province or city?
青海.
Qinghai. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he also worked for 中央警卫局.
So he's basically in the Chinese military.
Yes.
I see.
He
And
joined the party is before the country get established.
before the Chinese Communist Party got the power.
Yes.
I see. And so how about your father? What was his position, highest position?
Well, he was the Bank of Guangdong vice president.
I see.
And then after that, he joined the Chinese Xintian for the shareholder and manager in charge of that.
Okay. How do you describe your childhood, until now, the life before you spoke out?
If I get one word to describe my childhood, I can tell I get spoiled.
Spoiled.
I get spoiled. But I didn't realize when a kid gets spoiled, they don't realize they get spoiled.
Yeah, and looking back, you
basically for me, my family, they don't limit me a lot. They basically let me do whatever I want to do. My dad just gave me the card. I can swipe the card and I say, oh, I don't want to stay in China. I want to go fly to somewhere to study. Then they allow me. So basically, in China, they have 9 years 应试教育. But for me, they don't give me much limited for this because I already know what should I do and in the future what they're gonna make me to do. I get so if the Xi Jinping interruption isn't happened, then most likely my life will be like in China, then go to a board study, get a degree. After I get a degree back to China, then into the Chinese government for work. Then I get nothing to concern about it.
Yeah. And so you thought you were on a path to the Chinese government higher officials?
Well, for me, as even for the third generation, they have a different levels.
Okay.
So compared to me, my level actually is low.
Oh.
So I know even I want to be the president of China, I can't. Even for the Xintian, I can't because I'm a majority. I'm a Manchurian.
You're a minority.
I'm not high national.
Minority.
Yeah, I'm not high national. So even I want to get in top, I can't. They only give me some a normal job or close to the power, but I can never get the power. Which means the power isn't that power. Power is that means privilege.
Privilege.
Yes. You're in that position. You can get. People cannot imagine like how many privilege you can get.
Okay. Basically, you were born with your DNA. You could be privileged, but only to the certain level.
Yeah, not the high level.
I see. Okay, so let's get into, if I could, get into the 2020 election issue, because, it's starting to getting viral of the videos that you released. So it sounds like, you did some kind of investigation. Could you tell us about, how did you know there were fake ballots of the United States election being printed in China?
All right, first of all, because for me, it's like more accidentally I know this, not like I directly know this, because I don't know at the first beginning. So as an international student in the state, especially like when they were young, they need going to club, they need to go into casino, especially when they're underage. For me too, when I was young. So we ordered the fake ID.
Fake ID.
Yeah, fake ID. Yes.
From where?
If you ask like all the age, from New York.
Okay.
And the owner is my friend.
From New York.
I know him from New York. But the person, he lived in New York, but he is not. Factory is in Macau.
I see.
Yes.
He's like an agent.
Okay. It's like the agent and collecting those orders. And then once they get in the order, send the order to Macau, then Macau will send the DHL ship to United States. And that is not secret. In the international student this circles is not a secret. Everybody knows.
Could you review?
Yeah.
Could you review the agent in New York who's your friend? So he's a Chinese. American?
He's Chinese. Yes.
I see. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, because this area is more like a gray area. Because sometimes you have to go to a club or casino and they're underage. And what I can tell is those qualities the best. You cannot really tell what's the difference. And the machine can read. And later on, I can send a video as my example to this. So how this relate with a fake wallet? So let me finish this story, then you can know what's going on for this.
Sure.
So when July 2020 July, then I asked him. They just like chick chat. I said like, hey, random talk. And I said like, he asked me like, oh, recently my order get increased. I'm like, wow, how many? It's like at least 20,000 per month.
For the least. ID.
Yes.
Okay.
So then, later on, August, I think it's August or September, I was watching the news. The New York just just stopped for those ID.
The shipment.
They get caught like the shipping. Yes. Then I'm a little curious. Then I just send a link to him. I was like, hey, is it your products? He's like, yeah, get caught. I'm like, then I'm a little curious. Like, who's the buyer? Who's gonna buy a lot? Because first of all, I thought like just some gangster or mafia, they're gonna use this for some dirty work, some underground. So I wouldn't that much pay attention because that is not my business. Then November 3rd, then I was on plan. And before the plan get landing off, I was checking the election result. Then I thought, oh, Trump, he gonna win because I'm a Trump fan. So I support for Trump, Donald Trump. But later on, after I back to my hotel, then I wake up, I see again like oh my God, that's impossible. Why those elections get just different? The Biden goes up, then Trump goes down. Then I feels like something wrong with this. So then, because during that period, everybody talking about the election result. Everybody felt weird. People just feel odd, like what the result that thing. And for me too. And I have some resource connection too. Then I asked them. So in a case, because they have a factory in China, which means Guangdong area, they're doing the false for the receipt. Do you know the false receipt? Like you're going to buy something and they're gonna give you some like official receipt, and you get the receipt, you can avoid the tax. So they are doing something fake this.
So you
They're
knew
doing
it.
fake.
You knew that.
Sorry.
You knew.
I knew that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew that because for my job, I have to deal with different class people. I'm doing financial business. I'm doing different financial people, but that doesn't mean I do something illegal. Just my client, sometimes you know people, that's your connection. So then the driver license guy in New York, we talked something very deeply, and this conversation I just keep not be open the record, or somehow I get contact from this. First of all, I don't believe that thing, because I felt like nobody gonna fake those things, especially in China. Then I sent my guy to get the conversation to them, but we're just talking. We're not sending anything, and the guy, of course, he's not like respond me. So, but in China, you can send some like a red packet, hongbao.
Okay.
So we send some to him.
Tips.
Yeah. Yeah, we just send some tips. Just ask him, hey, dude, do you know this? That's the most incredible thing. Is like the guy is from China. He's in Guangdong. He doesn't speak English, and he respond us like, "Oh, we know this. We got another sample." And he sent to my guy, and that makes me very curious. Then I spend like a 5K pretending to the customer. I'm like, "Hey, can you make this?" Then he's like, "Yeah, of course." And that's why I make the record.
The phone call.
The audio record. The phone call, yes.
In the video with your phone call, but there is also showing some video of the ballot samples, so was that video from him?
From him, I know many people are gonna say like the video looks like unusual, because after I know this, I contact Taiwan. First I contact some U.S. media and press, and they gave me the response, and gave my office response is because that is political, very complicated, and they just reject me. They just reject me. They don't like it. So then I sent to Taiwan. The Taiwan finally, there had one place called Xintian. They took that, and so the video isn't like I put my voice and the video put together. Is originally used from Xintian.
I see.
And I get like around 40 videos on my phone. And later on, I can just press. But for during this process, I trying to figure out. I'm not like, because at the first beginning, I don't know the crew. I have no idea. To thought like what's the wrong, who is the right. So I don't know. But the most unbelievable thing is like during those process, I asked those press, I asked those social media, Twitter, nobody asked me, and nobody to come to confirm, to identify this is a fake news or real news. And they just all saying this is fake. I mean, you can judge a thing, but you can't judge without your own judgment.
Yeah, without investigation, right?
Right. Nothing. They just say false, fake. At least, but at least we're gonna have to, Americans very diversities. We believe the Constitution and we believe the dreams. We believe the freedom. But right now, during this process, they just want us to keep silence. They don't care the truth. You can hear then later on, many news just get out, just leaked. Voice record from CNN, that people get social security number, get voted, then change it different places. Then that's because if this just started, if only me, I won't be stand come out here. It's many new evidence comes out. That's why I decided to come to here to make this into the public.
Understand. Yeah, so from the conversation you did with the guy in the Canton factory, what did you get the most out of it? Would you able to get like how many orders they got and when did they start, such details?
First of all, like when the first time I trying to fishing him, he stopped talking. He's not talking. He's like, oh, I cannot tell you until I paid him $5,000. Then he opened his mouth.
Okay.
Chinese people, especially like people went through the gray area, they greedy. So I paid him, he speak. So he said 1 month he can produce at least $500,000.
1 month, $500,000.
$500,000. Yeah. So according his word, let's do the calculate, let's do the math. Around like 1.5 or 1.6 million bullet.
Oh, from the
then when I get the first one from the China. Yes.
How did you estimate the 1.6 million?
Because every month they said at least $500,000, and that is 3 months. So do the math. And I'm trying to get their tracking number. I have some, but unfortunately, like, in China, they have to play the white gloves, 白手套.
Which means?
Special white gloves, which means you get some, that you pick a guy is your puppy, and you control the guy, and you never showed up. It's like you control him on the shuttle. So in China, this is not a secret. Everybody knows this, how to play the game. Many people will still thinking the Tor or Dark Web or those things is a fairy tale, but it's not. It's reality, accepted reality. So that's why they play dirty. And I'm not ashamed to say my background, because since I was a kid, I've been educated by this stuff.
How?
Which means, what do you mean how?
Like
how to they teach?
Yeah. What did they teach you?
When I was a kid, I have to be forced. You have to go to the table to drink with them, except cheers or something. And when I was very young, I know I have to be attentioned, and I have to see everybody's face, remember their name, because my family told me, oh, this people? This people, maybe he's from blah, blah, which department, this people, blah, blah, from where, you have to say, hey, uncle, blah, blah, blah. So which means I have to hide my emotion. For a 10 years old kid, I have to hide my emotion. Even the event is very late, I have to keep awake. I cannot show my emotion to their, oh, I'm tired, mom, I want to go to bed. I can't. And when they do the chairs, you have to do lower than this. If you higher, this means very incorporated, very rude.
Mm-hmm.
Not how you use the chopstick, and they're gonna teach you. Oh, you have to listen to the party. The party when you graduate, you join the party. You have to 报效祖国.
Yeah, be loyal
that's
to
a lot.
the. Mm-hmm.
A lot. Yeah, be loyal to the party. Be loyal to do this, but that's.
You mentioned
yes.
You mentioned that you were also taught to laundry money at young.
Yes. Well, technically, it's not laundry money because that's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like illegal, but there are many ways, certain ways you can do this illegal. First, to get shell company, foundation, and you're just moving. Those kind of details. Since I was young, my dad told me, because my dad, he was in bank. I asked him like, hey dad, can you tell me how the bank, how this works, how you get profit? Then my dad just told me a very simple code. You get the meat from the refrigerator, you take it out, you put in. Normal people think you get nothing, but you get stink oil on your hand. He said that's the increase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the fake ballot thing. So once they printed it in the factory in Canton, do you know what they do with it? How do they get them into the United States?
Or first, you cannot directly into the United States. They have to ship in from, because I have a field tracking number. If you took this number, they're not directly to the state. First, they go to Canada or Mexico. Then from there, just like a narcos drug business, and back to there, you have to dealing with local narcos or local gangster, and they figure out this. For somehow in that part, I have some crew in New York and Massachusetts, I know, but other than that, I don't have more information. And this time is from July to October.
Okay.
Yeah, because first the printing the bullets is not completely. For some tag, they cannot fake. They have to do the second time.
Where do they do the second round, do you think?
I don't know. I think probably Canada, Canada or Mexico or some border place. I mean, they have to get low profile, and that isn't just like they prepare for like 3 months or 2 months, because for those ID, at least I know, it's like 1 year. That's 1 year ago they got order for that.
So in New York, do you have any idea where their shipment could be? Like, from, you mentioned they probably, go to New York, they will come from Canada, right?
Brooklyn, Flushing, if you go there is like well, for some people name I can't tell on this interview, but you can get a crack, you can get weed in there. I mean, those gray area, you cannot just go to the a print factory, say, hey, I want to print something. You have to deal with this with the people in underground world, and that word in those words, that's different, very different role. Not say luckily or unfortunately, but I'm dealing with different people, so that's why.
I see. Okay, so your friend in New York who dealt with the fake ID, so am I understanding right that you got the fake ballot thing also from him? How they could correlate the fake ID and the fake ballot?
Okay, first of all, if you just use the fake ID in some state, in the machine, they cannot. You have to use the ballot with your ID. But the ID, if you check on the system, some system won't show the face. They only show the name. That's why the dead people, the social security number, once you get those information, you can hire some people on the street, use their face, but the information is other people. And then you can pass for the ballot. And then we don't have to mention about the system. they get cheat on system because it very depending on the different state and how they cheat. In some state, they cannot cheat on the system. They just do the fake ballot. And that, what I'm saying, not only I saying this, you can check on the our president's the Twitter. They have a video shows they switched for those ballots. And this word not only come from me. That's a lot of people saying this. And if you can check the time of the Xin medium, I get all the records. It's not like just like a conspiracy. It's more like we're talking the reality, what's happening here.
Do you have any information from inside China about how the Chinese government get their hands on the United States election?
Well, as far as I know, this has been a decade or many years since they joined the WTO. So first of all, they trying to use the money since I was young because my here I want to talk about my background because my mom, she working for the Chinese government party. She's in Guotaiban, National Taiwan Relationship Office. So and then she studied at the Beijing University, and they have like a MBA, 总裁班, all the rich chairman, CEO, they get into there. And every summer when I finish my school, I'm back to Beijing, then I join their meeting too. Because my mom wanted to train me to learn something after I graduate. But so during that class, it's not like actually you're going to there learn something. Is you're going to there exchange your resource, which means you get higher resource, you get higher class, you get higher profit. But that is not only for this action is not by those CEOs. It actually they have to follow by the party. The party give them order, they get close to those politicians. First, they're trying to use the money to block them, but that's was like 10 years ago. They don't know the role. Of course, it's failed. So, but that is not the most terrible thing. They get strong. First of all, they say like, okay, we join the war. We're trying to use the money, and we're trying to get on with those, for example, president or vice president or chancellor, congressman. But then they realized if they just bow their head, it's not working. Because there isn't like China. You bought a mayor, then everything becomes through or pass. Have you the green light? Because United States, you have the Congress and many people, members, House, a lot of meeting. Then once they follow, they start to learn it. They send the exchange student J1, F1 to United States to learn this system. The most terrible thing is they learn it, they come back against the system. Use the corrupt way to doing that. They're still growing. They're sending the cultural effect, trying to brainwash the whole world because first they're using the money, then they thought, okay, it's not working, then let's try something else. They're trying to use the system. If the guy is against China, then they support his enemy because enemy's enemy is friend. Once his friend get elected, well, they in the back, they win. And also Huawei, and also those people from CSSA.
Tell us about CSSA.
中国学生学者联合会. I don't know that name in English.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're spy.
How?
Because I know them.
Okay. So they are basically
the
Chinese scholars and students study abroad in the United States,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So tell us about what you know about them.
Well, because I was in Los Angeles, then there have many people about those exchange students. Well, for some low-level people, they're just the 公费留学, country party will pay for the tuition. They come to there for exchange. For them, just for see the system how this work. They are not the most harmful type for United States. The most harmful type is those people who add F1 visa, but for study, the technology, go to there. They go into their study for stealing, and that everything is happened during Obama government, because he extended the visa from 1 year to 5 years. Before 2015, we only got 1 year's visa for F1, but he extended for 5 years, and no limitation. You can start whatever you want major in the United States, which means there is no difference between citizen, foreigner. So most of them just, after they graduate, studied, they go into the big tech company, steal the tech, then back to China. Recently case, you can see the Tesla, Apple, and I think Amazon too. They're the core tech gets stolen by China. So that's the most harmful thing. And Obama government, they're not stopping those action. They allowed it. They allowed this to happen. Then we don't have to mention about Obama health insurance. I don't like that.
Yeah, so more on those students who, Chinese students come to here to study. It's hard to imagine every one of them would work for the Chinese Communist Party. So do you have an estimate of percentage, how many of them really work for the party?
They are not directly work for the party. Party won't give to the top people directly direction, tell you should do this, you should do that, because that looks too obviously. Their control is in another new level, which means, for example, I can give you a very detailed example. 北美留学生日报. Its co-founder called Lin Guoyu. 30 years old in China. I can call him loser.
Why?
He got nothing. And he got nothing on there. But he back to China, he's claimed himself, I graduated from United States, I get very succeed in school. And he got an investment from Xintian. That's in 2015. 500,000 RMB. And then Chinese realized, okay, we have to using the exchange students to get propaganda and advertisement to control their brand. And that back to that time, there have many starting up company. They need money. So in China, which is there have Tengxun, Alibaba, Baidu, IDJ, Zhenge Foundation. So those, especially 2015, Li Keqiang said, 创客, building up a company. Then everybody just get a CEO title. But where their money come from? It's not directly from the government. The government give the many policies to support students. But for the return, they have to listen to the party. And you cannot do something, cross this line. If you cross those line, it can ruin their life, which means no money, no profit, and those circle are gonna kick you out because you just look like a alien or something.
So the companies you
I
mentioned...
was into...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was in that circle, and I can't stand that anymore. You have to see your supervisor. You have to talk to them, bow to them. And they often open some, like a meeting or event in Harvard in Stanford, like a Chinese communication culture, what blah blah blah, those kinds of shit. 辽源. But you know, they just play their own game in their little circle. And they claim themselves succeeding the American. They're gonna pay some professor or some celebrity come to that event to have some speech. But you know, the most ironic thing is some people, they don't speak English fluently. They just want to the face. 面子工程, face project.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that when you were in the circle, you had to see the supervisors. Who are the supervisors? Are they related to what you mentioned at the CSSA?
They're not directly in the CSSA. Actually, they are more higher level for the CSSA. For example, IDG Capital, the IDG Capital in China, Hongshan Ziben, Xu Xiaoping, Zhenge Jijin. Those communists or people who work for communists, they are all controlled by the party, because once you listen to the party, you get the investment. And China, they want an image. It's like, oh, look, those exchange students, look how they succeed. They get a big company. San Francisco get Valley, and Beijing get Zhongguancun. That they want to create an image for them. And in 2015, I was the 新海归精英联盟, exchange student union, which means we have 1.1 million members in China. That's back to that time, we were the largest exchange student union in China, and I was the vice president. And I wrote a letter to President Xi Jinping to saying like, oh, how grateful China under your role, how lucky we are. But I want to say that isn't come to my true, because in China you have to do this. If you don't do this, you cannot get your profit. People will start to block you. People will start to ignore you because you're alien. Your thinking is different. Outside of the party, you'll never become to the top. Yes, and he responded to me.
Oh, you said you wrote that letter to Xi Jinping, kind of to get permission, get like higher position in China for your association.
After I graduated school, because back to that time I want to join the Chinese Communist Party to get higher position. Yes. But I can't stand this anymore, because that's painful. I can't just say something what I don't want to say, and they force me just treat me like a puppy. I don't like this feeling. And the most horrible thing is, back to that time I was only 18 or 19, but my acting isn't like a normal kid. Acting like I'm 40 or something. That's painful. I cannot talk free what I talk. If I talk too free what I talk, people are gonna say, "Oh, you are a traitor. You're a traitor of the China." Or they call me Hanjian, but I'm not even Han national. How the fuck I can be the Hanjian?
Okay, I wanted to follow up on you mentioned those how the money didn't directly come from the Chinese government, but come through like Tencent, Tencent, Baidu, and how are those companies related to the Chinese government then?
Well, first of all, if you use in China, they don't have Facebook. They use everything: QQ, WeChat, Alipay, WeChat Pay, Xiecheng, Ctrip, Little Red Book, Xiaohongshu, and so basically they got a circle. They don't have YouTube. They don't have Twitter. So this is just a circle. In China, you have to sacrifice your privacy. Once you sacrifice your privacy, you can get the convenience of the like. But who support this? I mean, those companies support it, but who allowed this? Chinese Communist Party. They allowed this happen because Then they can see everything what you tags on there. They are connecting with the police department. Also, they have the internet cops wanting to check what you're thinking. If you're saying some humiliating words to the party gonna arrest you, give you 15 days or those kind of like stuff. Before they using this system in China, but since they getting bigger and bigger, they trying to affect the whole world, especially for the face recognize. That's very dangerous actually, because in China, if you go check in the hotel, you have to do the face recognize.
And so what you mean is the companies like Baidu or Tencent, actually they're controlled by the Chinese government then?
Obviously, if look Jack Ma, he doesn't follow by the policy, then what happened on him? His IPO project just get lost. So look on him. That's the best result. What else I can say? That is obviously result everybody knows.
And could you clarify a little bit more about the CSSA? You give this example of how exactly they are doing in the United States to assist the Chinese government.
First of all, many Chinese students, they come to the state. Most of the people they're college, they graduate high school in China. They get an application to apply a U.S. college. Then they came to U.S. They're not like other international students. They're very shy. They're a very close circle. They're only dealing with Chinese, which means I think Chinese is mainland China. They're not dealing with dealing with Hong Kong or Taiwan, because if you say Taiwan is Taiwan, they're gonna get so pissed. They get so glass heart. So when the circle gets established, they have some event ceremony for the new Chinese student, and those student union gonna write down every single student, because you have to collect your name to say, oh, I'm going to the party. I mean, the party is not Chinese Communist Party, the party. So they collect the information. And second, they have a tour, which means a guide in the CSSA. He gonna watching every student, the speech, talking. If something awkward, they gonna mark it. And third is join the. Sí. Gracias. Sorry. And if they trying to get more, for example, if the student wants back to China, like after they graduate, get more resources in China, they have to know each other first, especially when most Chinese students, they come to there for business, study business or study economy. They want to establish their company in China or get working for their own family company. So they need to get more resource. Like I said, CSSA is under those investment is under their position. Then the head of this that can introduce them to those investment industry. Then how relate that's become to a circle. You know him first. He introduced this to this investment company. Then after that, after getting investment, they full covered, which means the image gets full covered back to China. Let the Chinese normal people think, wow, you guys are elite, 精英. And they were like, oh, wow, this guy is studying abroad. Amazing. But come on. You guys know what I'm talking about. They don't go to the test. They hire people. Don't ask me why I know this. Because I'm the person, I'm not afraid of talking the truth. You guys, the degree, you bought it, and you guys don't even speak the fluent English. Voila.
What do you know about the agents of the Chinese Communist Party government, we see they're hiring businesses here, right? They're doing some exchange, doing those conferences about business, doing business in China. So what do you know about that part?
Don't check about their name or something. You cannot. You very hardly to tell. Are they spy? Are they normal working people? Check the money. Check where the money come from. If the money steadily come to there, then you check the cash flow, because they use the shell company. They're not directly sending the money to there. So those have a line. You can just I can later give you what I know. Also, for normal people, very hardly to do. But careful one thing: when you speak something opposite against their opinion, and they get so mad, or they trying to convincing you and trying to take you to another group and trying to give you another benefit, special for new people, then careful that those kind of people.
那你的助手有说你可以讲他们怎么样间接控股，还有就是美国中共代理人的招商方法。Yeah, so what do you know about those aspects?
Okay, first of all, when they trying to get the white gloves, they have three ways. Like at first I said the J1, F1, and second is the investment the student for the company. Then when the student company goes up, they get more speech power. And third is they trying to use the marriage. For example, as marriage is also they affect the political thing. As former I know, Wu Huiling, he's the former Los Angeles mayor, 郡长夫人，前郡长夫人。Actually, I've been part of this, but I'm not scared to speak that. So some politicians, they're not getting power yet. So they will send some Taiwanese or Hong Kongese or maybe Chinese to introduce a woman to marry them. Then give some benefit, help him to win the election. And they're not directly see the policy to the man, because that against the rule. But they can tell their wives that's not against the rule. And their wives tell the husband, same. And that is not only one case. Check those records. Check the BRD. Check the BRD show go on.
Check what?
Check it. That's BRD.
BRB?
BYD. BYD. BRD.
比亚迪 比亚迪 that the company.
Check. Yeah, that's company. Check it. Why is so close with China? Check it. It's everything. Very, very funny thing inside. Very funny.
So you mean in this company also like there was like marriage thing went on?
Not marriage single, but they have an agent. If you look up online, check the old news, you will find something very funny things inside. And also check the 中美电影节, Chinese American film festival. I wasn't there.
Tell us about.
Check those. Well, those things is just like they trying to, like I said before, they want some like for face project, 面子工程. So they will pay the money and join them to see, oh, China now become too more international. But you know, one main thing is like they don't respect them. They just want their money. Without money, they're nothing. So they are very like to do this 面子工程, especially like when we're working for the 三亚海博会. I was in work for party back to 2015. They want to call themselves international, blah blah blah, but it's not international at all. They just hire some. Well, I can see like some wet trash to pay them to get their 面子工程 looks better. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm. And their face project, do you think it's more towards the people in China or to the international stage? What is the face project for? Purpose?
Their purpose is for, because when China, they get money, but China's compared to other European countries or Americans, still they are not new money because they're immoral. Their moral is very low. They don't care about people. They don't have religions. They don't trust the freedom. After the Deng Xiaoping revolution, they just trust the money. That's why they come to Paris, don't speak French, get all the stuff, but they're not get the respect from this. And their purpose is trying to see the world. They want to get stronger as much as United States. Of course, they saying like, oh, we want peace, we don't want war. China never don't want to be the number one, but they want to be the number one. Every single Chinese in their deep heart, I mean, people in mainland China, they still thinking that they are number one. That's what they think. Of course, you cannot just say, oh, money, I get number one. They need something. Like I said, they are very glass heart. They need respect. They're jealous. They're like, oh, Taiwan, you're poorer than me. But why people respect Taiwan? But when they say they're Chinese, actually for them, it's a shame. So they want to save those. That's why they so hard to do the face project. And once they heard something humiliating or offend them, they get so pissed, angry. And what they do, they spend the money. They say, like, oh, China get money. We get like a 1.3 billion population. But come on, money cannot buy the respect. Salute.
Mm-hmm. Any other things you know about how the Chinese government try to influence, in the United States?
They're not only influence for the United States, they are influence for Japan, African country, a lot. For example, China's Xintian, the train project. You have to dig in the hole. You get the row machine. So back to 2004, that's the machine is made. They are using from Deutschland, Germany. And Chinese, they don't play the role. They after a few years, they copied one. Same and more better, more effect, more function. And then they give up for using the German products. They start using their own. As a country, they need a basic instruction. They claim themselves, oh, we are helping the Africa, we are helping those countries, but it's not. Once they get the project, once they get the 一带一路, One Sky Road, they're still using their Chinese company. They didn't get the job. They didn't bring the economy up in the local. They're still using the Chinese. And for somehow, with some money, they get corrupted in there, put in their own pocket. So that's why you can look at the 一带一路. Many countries still get that on there. For American, like I said, they studying here, they growing up in here, they learn here, and they make better. That's very horrible. Because I believe the Constitution, I believe the freedom, I believe, for me, I'm just a normal person. But for many people, they very care their own profits. They don't want to lose their job. They want to get more container with China because China is a world factory. You cannot lose the money. You have to live on this life. But if we just standing, keep silence, we just see a monster get growing, then enough bigger we cannot defending anymore. Once they get bigger enough, then that's done. Like right now, people keep silence for those Trump election. Before I think the American, we got it. Even you don't agree a people's opinion, you let him speak because we accept those diversity culture. But right now, we only accept one voice. Another voice, if we don't like it, we just build a wall by ourselves. And also for Asian people, they shy, they don't talk. People usually ignore them. The stereotype of Asian people is shy, don't talk, rich. That's the stereotype of Asian people. So I decided to come here, broke the wall. Yes.
So when did you start to realize that and make up your mind that you wanted to speak out? What triggered?
After my daughter born, because I was in the hospital, I see the little life born in the world. Then back to that time, because after my dad died, one thing I want to clarify myself. Many people saying like because my dad, he got screwed by Xi Jinping, that's why I come here to against him. No, it's all not true. So first of all, I'm a Manchurian. After 2015, I'm not interested at all to China. And been 4 years, I no speak Chinese. I rejected, I denied my identity. So for me, China is a foreign country back to that time. Until that affected my life. Japan, US. I mean, you guys can do whatever you want in China, but back to that time, how are you gonna affect the freedom word? Is it spread the virus? They cover the truth? Then I realized I gotta do something. I cannot let my daughter happen in this world. Like right now, the reality is already horrible. If people just let it go, what happened after 5 years, after 10 years? We don't know, but much more terrible. That's why I'm not saying I'm fighting for for China. I just the normal man do the normal thing. Because I think that is the deep DNA. I'm a Manchurian and I am a warrior. Then after that, I realized if I just saved my own small family, they're gonna affect the other people. I know my power is little, but I'm just trying to do the right thing. Because each single of the life in this world is unique. It's not charity. You get the right since you're born. You get the freedom of speech. You get the social justice. It's not the right you're begging you to ask them for the charity. That's the right since everyone born. I was in privilege. I was in poor. But now I'm in the middle class. So I can clearly know which the different level people, what they think, what they thought.
And just to clarify, actually, you were regarded as a gifted child when you were like very young. You had your very glorious era in China, and it seems you had a bright future. But then your father got screwed by Xi Jinping, and so after the tragedy of your father, what happened to you at that time?
Well, I skipped to China because back to that time, like I said, in the circus group, if you people know you don't have money or your family get something very bad happened on them, they're gonna look down you. They think you're useless. They think you don't value can use this. That's why I feel shame. I feel very shame. I don't have face to eat them because I just want to escape from China. Then first I went to Thailand, and then I decided to back to Japan, study in Japan. Then before I went to Japan because the school haven't started yet, I went to Europe, stayed in France, Netherlands, Amsterdam, Paris. So that's why in there I learned French and Spanish. So I realized I just normal people, because when my dad screwed that night, I was dating in Zhongnanhai, 皇城跟北街西安门大街的十字路口. I was sitting on the street, and there have a old grandma is selling the 煎饼果子, a Beijing pancake. I paid her, and he gave me very nicely. Then that night, I realized I'm just a normal person. I get nothing. Especially for the young people, when they close the power isn't representing you got the power. They just close the power, but that doesn't mean they own the power. So that night, I get more matured because I'm not like the spoiled kids. They say, oh, my dad, my grandfather, blah, blah, blah. I start to on my own. Then after that, I was so playboy. I was so lost during that 2 years. I don't know. I lost my future. What should I do? But after that, I said, oh, I cannot just give up on this. Okay, then I just cut off everything in China. Then I started to build my business from zero. Then now I'm back to the millionaire again. So I'm here not to, like other people, to ask for some, oh, you get money or something. I get enough for my life. But that's told me not only for myself, you have to get those. That is the gift to teach me to realize you have to get return to the society, not like only to fit your own personal profit. That's why it's very big change from a spoiled kids to a playboy, then to some people only care about their, let's say, asshole thing come to right now. So that changed a lot.
And how you are able to get to where you are right now from ground zero almost, sounds like. So what do you owe that to? What do you think of United States, which able to make you to this state?
Equality, because they treat, no matter you're the president, no matter what level you are, they're not begging. They're not for in China. There is very different between the different class and then there. So for me, Tommy, no matter who, in China, I think people don't have the, in the society, especially in the business, people don't have the real heart to concern other people's feeling. They only care their own, and they trade the money first, and they don't believe anything. They don't have any moral for this. That's why you can see those food, anything in China, they get very bad influence on the public. So I think that's it about moral. So American or something, I'm not saying that American is 100% perfect, but at least moral side, they teach me more looks like a human, not like an animal. I think if people without moral or compassion or heart, they're less than animals. But unfortunately, in China, most of the modern people, they're less human. That's all I can say.
With the Chinese Communist Party's influence into the United States, some Americans, it's hard for them to realize, how dangerous it could be. So what do you want to say to them?
Back to those years, Americans built on the Constitution. There were city voices in this country. We support the freedom. We support the human rights. We used to get the American dreams. But look now. If the normal people don't standing up, then the right, maybe after 10 years, after 20 years, then you look back. You're gonna miss the freedom. You're gonna miss the freedom speech, like right now. Go to Twitter or go to there. They just blocked everything. What do you say? And China already been through the Cultural Revolution. You have a very good example to see what happened in China back to the 70s. America is turned to a very dangerous way right now. They don't allow other voices. Who made this? I'm not saying like for people or any party. It's you and me, both. The greedy in our side. So one thing I just want to say, something is more important than the money. Keep the faith and do the right thing. Don't lose yourself. Don't lose your soul. And God bless you. God bless United States of America.
Do you have any concerns? Are you afraid to speak out?
God with me. I'm not afraid. If I don't do this, what else are we gonna do this? I'm not putting hope on the people they afraid to this, because I understand they get their life, they get their jobs, they're afraid. But as you know, for me, my national, Manchuria, Mongolia, we are warriors. We're not afraid, guys. We're only afraid is the world become more corrupt, and no one can stop this. That's what I'm most afraid of.
Wonderful. Thank you.
That is not the end. That is not the end. Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, that was the first half of this interview. What Venus documented wasn't a theory. It was the result of his own investigation, his own money, his own recordings. A factory in Guangdong printing 500,000 fake ballots a month. Shipments routed through Canada and Mexico via drug trafficking networks. Evidence handed to American media that no one would touch. 6 years later, the President of the United States stood before the nation and said, in essence, the same thing. Subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss it. If you found this interview valuable, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Other creators are welcome to use this content. Just credit the Wei and Cathy Show. All right, I'm Cathy Zhang. Thanks for watching and see you next time.